So welcome back everybody to the main event of this episode of Smack Talk. If you've checked out parts 1 and part 2, you probably have noticed a different change in the audio quality. We might have fixed our Skype issues. If it continues on in this part, then I apologize. Blame it on Comcast, my computer, and everything else that's going on like that. Not us. We're not actually like glitching out ourselves. Well, maybe Wago a little bit. He did get cut recently, so he might just be losing a lot of blood.
Skype. I thought we recorded this all together in the same room in like a professional studio.
We do, but it's also just through Skype.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
We're all standing next to each other, but we have like a cubicle up, so we can't see each other, so we use Skype. I wonder what, actually, you know what? I'm curious. Did anybody think that we recorded this all in the same time? Leave a comment below, like if you thought we were all in the same room together. I don't think so, but if you did, leave a comment.
Well, we've talked before
anybody could be that oblivious.
We've had weird ass people. I've had people email me even recently and say that the whole "can I get a job in WWE" thing. So if those people are oblivious enough to do that, wouldn't be shocked.
To be fair, we have done things where I've like, yeah, will you pass me that can, and then I've opened up one.
Yeah, that is true.
So we have fucked with people before.
And there was that situation where I was like, "Oh, it's on your right, Peyton," and you're like, "Oh, thanks." None of this has anything to do with our main event, obviously.
Yeah, but this is better.
Yeah. All right. Well, our main event is going to be something different and sort of the same too. It's a slight change up of something that we've done in the past, which is the Call the Spot. Now, Call the Spot, if you don't know what that is, we have 5 people and we have to rank them main event, upper mid-card, jobber, released. Now, I took that same marry, fuck, kill kind of a thing and applied it to something that originally was going to be an article idea. But when I was thinking about some different things to do for this week and whatever, I started looking at the roster and I realized we had a lot of trios. And I figured, you know what, why not apply it to that? We're in a good time where there's 2 trios feuding with each other and such. So this is called Retain, Repackage, Release. Again, pretty much a simple marry, fuck, kill kind of a thing, but the 3 options we have. Retain is keep somebody exactly the same as they are right now. You don't change a thing. If they're in the upper mid-card or the mid-card or the main event or whatever, their character, their heel or face alignment, anything like that. It's dead set exactly what they're on right now is the way you got to keep them. Repackage, which is, I guess, the equivalent of fuck, it's a good thing, but it's not as good, depending on who you're talking about. Repackage is you have to change the person around. You can change as many things as you want about them. You can change as little things as you want, but it has to be something that's drastic enough where you would feel like it's a true repackaging. So if you were to say repackage R-Truth, couldn't just say he gets a haircut. But you could change, he can keep the R-Truth name and he can have a different character. He can change his name to K-Quick again. He can change, now he's a heel who wrestles as a gladiator and is in a tag team on NXT. Like, you can change as much as you want. Now, release is pretty simple. You fire the person. They don't get any chance whatsoever to redeem themselves in any capacity. So, the 2 groups that I figured we could talk about for this, they're feuding with each other, and I think the way to start off is AJ Styles, Karl Anderson, and Luke Gallows, the club. And then there's the family, Roman Reigns, Jimmy Uso, and Jey Uso. So retain, repackage, release. Let's start off with the family. Kalen, you got to retain one, repackage one, release one. It's a little tricky because you've got 2 Usos there.
Which one's the good Uso again? I always mix them up.
Jimmy Uso is the quote-unquote good one.
Okay.
Man, this one is tricky because I'm not going to let Roman Reigns go. So I have to let one of the Usos go, and then the other one I have to keep, and either keep him as he is or change him. Okay, this is interesting. Let's say we're going to keep Jimmy Uso as he is.
He's retained.
Yes, we're going to retain him. We're going to repackage good old Roman Reigns. And let me think about what he's going to repackage as. And then we're going to release Jey Uso. Sorry, Jay. You were on my team for a minute, though, so you got that for you. As far as how to repackage Roman Reigns, I mean, I think they're going in the right direction right now, but they haven't fully pulled the trigger on it. I think he needs to be full out heel, and that's the way to get him over. He needs to basically continue this I'm the guy. And so his ego is just going to get huge and huge and huge until he's just mowing over everybody, which he kind of already is. But he's going to be mowing over everybody, and he's going to be such a pompous, cocky ass about it. And I think I would like him still to be champion, though, while he's doing that. I don't think he should turn babyface again until long after he's lost the title. So that's what I would do, I suppose.
Poor Jey Uso.
Yeah.
Peyton, you got one to retain, one to repackage, one to release. Who do you got going for where?
Yeah, this is all the obvious one. I can't see anybody going any different than the one that was just stated. So don't even spend any time here.
Really? See, I wasn't going to go with that.
You're going to release Roman Reigns.
Are you going to
right?
do the exact same repackaging for Roman Reigns?
Yeah, absolutely. There's no reason this guy should still be the Shield guy.
So
Different gimmick
if you're
altogether?
if you're gonna repackage him, yeah, are you gonna change him to where he's still Roman Reigns, or are you gonna keep him as?
Well, I'm not going to make him lay a key.
Yeah.
I would just, I don't even know. I would give him some more intense music. I would give him.
So it goes, burner, say yeah, burner, say yeah.
Well, yeah, that would be step up. I wouldn't give him a haircut. I would keep the hair.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't put him in a suit, but I would give him tights, maybe pants, like long pant tights and no top.
Get rid of one of his legs, make him the next Zach Gowen, that'll get him over.
No, people would still boo.
And you're keeping Jimmy Uso as retained, right?
Yeah, you could just have him come out there being this Islander guy with the cool face paint. He could still do the ooh so with the crowd. Like that'll still do money. You don't need them as a tag team. You could do that as a singles guy.
Wego, who do you got? You sticking with the same 3 lineup?
Yeah, I mean, there's not much else you can really do. It's like, you look at the Usos and go, which one's in the worst shape this week? All right, you're gone.
This week.
Yeah.
Like they
basically.
just had a barbecue and it's like one of them ate a little bit too much.
It depends which one took their 5-hour energy, I guess. But then Roman Reigns, that's the guy that you've got to repackage. And you'd get rid of the fucking shield jacket or vest or whatever you want to call it. You put him in some actual wrestling gear. Though you keep that tattoo on show, you don't put any elbow pads or shit on. Then you just, I mean, the guy's almost doing exactly what I want. They're in the position of transitioning him, so it's kind of hard to say repackage him because they're doing that themselves. But yeah, you just get rid of the music, you play him up as more of a heel, and you make him that big heel for the babyfaces to go up against.
See, that's why I switched mine up a little bit. I went with release Jey Uso because, you know what? Come on, you got to release Jey Uso. Again, poor Jey. But I actually put retain for Roman Reigns and to repackage Jimmy Uso because I think Roman Reigns is doing a lot of what I would have want him to do right now already. So I wouldn't want to change it up too much because if you have him as the heel in this kind of AJ Styles feud, he's not really full on heel, but I mean, come on, you're supposed to basically be booing him a little bit too. If he's getting that kind of a negative crowd reaction, you change him too much to be maybe cooler and not do what he's doing right now that pisses the crowd off, people might end up cheering him and it might backfire. But if you keep him the same and you keep him on the same path where he keeps doing the same shit that people are annoyed with, he can still be that heel. When you take Jey Uso out of the equation for the Usos, I don't think that he can really stand on his own doing the exact same thing because the only thing people are going to think of is, well, there used to be 2 of them doing this. And he's got to change it. When I say Us, you say oh, Uso, and then he's doing the Siva Tao by himself and all that. So I would actually rather see him be repackaged as more of a duo with Naomi. And she had that kind of like hip-hop edge to her. He's got a little bit of that in him too. So maybe you step away from the whole Samoan heritage a little bit, or you incorporate it in a different way that's less of like the fire coming out of the stage and less of the face paint and stuff like that. Maybe you make him a little bit more of like a hard-edged kind of thug. Full-on heel. And then you can actually tag him up with Roman Reigns even more, because he seems like a little bit like a heel.
So, Tony, I just have to comment on something because you said if they did that with one of the Usos, it would just be like, well, there used to be two of them. Well, we do that with Roman Reigns. There used to be three of them. It's a big problem, and it's the main event. That's the bigger problem.
You mean about his still being like the Shield?
Mm-hmm.
Being like the Shield, he is the Shield.
He is the Shield.
It's the same music, except they just got rid of the Shield part at the start.
I don't know. See, I don't connect it anymore as much.
I think the reason is just that Ambrose and Seth have done such a good job
Yeah,
pushing themselves away from that.
they
but-
differentiated themselves enough where I mean, I know that they're the Shield and all that, but I don't think of it as much as like, oh, he's still doing the Shield thing. I think of it just like that's Roman's thing.
I think
Well,
it's more
you
that
may
he's-
not, but a lot of other people still do.
He's
true.
He's kind of stagnant, and he's finally getting away from that with the new personality shift and
Mhm.
adding
He's
a few
getting there.
heel roles in. It's a slow process, but honestly, he had a lot of other flaws to overcome first, so it wasn't the biggest issue.
If I were to repackage him, I do kind of like the idea that maybe he could get a little bit more tribal, not like wearing a fucking leaf.
Making his way to the ring with a bone in his nose.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's like, man, no bone in his nose, but you could embrace a little bit more. You know, not quite new Umaga level,
Mhm.
but give him something more like that. Yeah.
Maybe like his boots aren't just like combat boots. Maybe they've got a little bit of like what's the material kind of like, like you know how like Umaga had like the taped up ankles.
Mm.
Maybe give him something that sort of looks like it's got that kind of an edge to it, or maybe it's brown. Just brown. It's a different look for him.
You know what Roman Reigns needs to start doing is giving headbutts.
He could do it, I'm sure. You can't fuck up a headbutt really all that much unless you just don't put your thumb there.
I mean, I fucked up a headbutt once. It was blood.
Did you not put your thumb there?
Maybe not.
There you go. Put your thumb there, damn it.
Just saying, it's easier to fuck up than you think.
Yeah. I'm sure I would fuck up an international.
Fucked up one of those too.
Oh man, I forgot to punch with my fist. Somehow I need the guy.
Oh shit, I hit the ref.
Yeah, I think that a repackaging of Roman Reigns to a different level, a drastic enough different level, should happen a little bit later on when he's already become a full-on heel and he goes back to being a babyface, more so. With Jey Uso, he's gone. But Jimmy Uso, he would need something a little bit different because he would look really sad by himself doing the same gimmick. I'd feel bad for the guy.
Especially doing that intro with the chant and everything, that would not be good.
Mm-hmm. Now, with the club, we have a little bit more flexibility because we don't have the Usos pitting against each other, but we have AJ Styles, Karl Anderson, and Luke Gallows. You gotta repackage one, release one, retain one. I'm gonna go opposite order this time around. Wago. Who you keeping same, who you changing, who you getting rid of?
So releasing is Karl Anderson. He's tiny and bold, pretty much is what it is. As far as retaining, Luke Gallows, he's pretty much is in the role that he needs to be. Big, angry, bold guy that beats people up. Repackage, AJ Styles. He's going to be the repackages the greatest of all time and win every single championship ever. And be the champion for the next 10 years. Cool.
Peyton, who you got for what on this one?
He ain't got none. Caleb, what do you think?
Well, anyways, I would say as far as my release, also I would have to agree with Wago and say Karl Anderson. I think he's the less charismatic and weakest of the three, I would say. My retain, I would have AJ Styles. I like what he's doing right now, and I want to see him ride it out and see where they go with it. As far as repackaging, Luke Gallows. I mean, we've already seen him wrestle under the Festus gimmick, so we know he can have a few different kind of things going. What I'd like to see is him wrestle as a heel with a gladiator gimmick as part of a tag team on NXT.
You're gonna call him R Gallows?
Yeah, there you go.
So Peyton, you gotta line up for this one now? Or did we still lose you?
Oh, I like put my headphones down for like 3 seconds.
Okay.
Well, I'm following up pretty much what Wago did. Karl Anderson released for the same reasons. He's short and bald, and he hasn't really shown me any reason to keep him around. And someone has to go. Luke Gallows. Luke Gallows is like really solidly found his spot, I think. And now that they got the pants on him, which is funny because like the week before they did that, we were talking about that. And it's like they should just put him in pants, and then he came out there in pants. Like perfect. They nailed it.
Yeah, someone backstage obviously was like, "You should wear pants."
Well, I'm not saying we're responsible for that. I'm just saying like we wished for it and it happened. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm saying like someone else must have saw it. It was obvious. It was like the main thing.
Mm-hmm. And AJ Styles, I would repackage him. Just this like southern redneck dude that's coming in. You could do better than that. Like I would definitely, I would give him
a haircut,
a Ric Flair robe.
Yo, you know what? Give him a robe might not be a terrible idea. If he's supposed to be this whole like great wrestler character, like have him be a little bit more of that 80s style. Have him come out there, have him have the little like initials on his tights rather than that stupid tattoo on his side.
So you'd have to get rid of the tattoo.
Yeah, that would be a big part of the repackaging is getting rid of that stupid ass tattoo.
You know what? I'd be totally okay with that. I think that is the biggest issue that he's got going for him.
He's like, guys, this is really personal. They're like, you want to be a team player, don't you?
Oh, actually, quick nomination for the Fuck That Guy Club. Shannon Moore.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Oh, that's not a quick nomination. That's like the guaranteed placement.
Styles he tattooed. He also fucking tattooed Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan does not have tattoos. Fuck you, Shannon Moore.
He gave Hulk Hogan a tattoo?
Yeah, that's why
Hogan a bunch of tattoos now.
Yeah, that was all Shannon Moore's doing. Shannon Moore like fucked up a lot of guys.
I wouldn't have ever trusted Shannon Moore to give me a tattoo. I would have thought that was guaranteed HIV.
Shit.
I mean, he doesn't give a fuck, right? He's got a book about it. What a terrible person. See, I can't think of anything to repackage AJ Styles as, so I couldn't pick him as a repackage for this. And it's like, I don't know if it's just more so I'm like writer's block when it comes to it or whatever, but he's not somebody who I can picture really bringing like a separate character to the mix where I'd give him something crazy. And he seems to just kind of be himself all the time. So if I'm going to keep him being himself, I might as well keep him as the retain. And poor Anderson, I don't know much about the guy. I really kind of wanted to change it up and make him like a repackage, but I like Gallows too much. He's somebody who I really liked as Festus. I really liked when he was with the Straight Edge Society. Right now, I'm not digging him all that much. Like, what he's doing right now is fine. And if you're going to keep him with Anderson, that's cool. I'm not, like, annoyed about it or anything like that. But if we were to get rid of Anderson, I don't think that Gallows doing what he's doing right now is anything. He's just Luke Gallows, and he's wearing a white outfit. So I'd like to see him do something a little bit tying back into the Festus thing a little bit. Not going so far. I don't want to see him do that you ring the bell and he starts sticking his tongue out and doing the whole duh kind of thing again. But I did really dig the idea that when that bell rang, he kind of snapped. And I'd like to see something like that. Maybe call him like the ticking time bomb a little bit. Like, do a countdown. And when the bell rings, that's like the end of the countdown. And he goes fucking nuts. And he can still be, a talker. He can still keep that going or whatever. But they've got that little sort of gas mask thing that they've got going on. I kind of like that too a little bit. And they're not having him wear it. But what if he came out dressed sort of like a serial killer? Not, full on, like, he's not wearing atom bomb attire and trying to be like anything like that or see no evil or whatever like that.
The last serial killer wrestler worked out so well. His name was Samuel Shaw.
Tony,
oh God, I forgot that was like, well, that was TNA. That doesn't count.
You know who you want, Tony? You want Matanza.
Maybe. I mean, I still haven't watched that, but he's a big hulking...
He's a big hulking dude. He comes out... It's kind of like the Eric Rowan wedgie suit, but it's a darker color and it doesn't look as goofy on him because they have the sleeves ripped and they have like blood splatters all over it. And then he has this really mean looking like Silence of the Lambs mask on. He's a scary dude.
That kind of sounds, yeah, that sounds like something that I would totally see Gallows doing. Maybe he's not as much of an imposing threat because he's probably not anywhere near as big, right?
This guy's humongous.
The 1 or 2 pictures I've seen of him, he looks like he's a fucking giant. He should play Andre the Giant. There you go. Just change up his ethnicity a little bit and stuff. But yeah, I could see Gallows pulling off a character like that, where you're just flat out intimidated by him. And we don't have many monster heels that are like that anymore. Kane's sort of going away. Big Show doesn't do that stuff anymore. He's like goofy and shit. Mark Henry's on the way out, so that Hall of Pain thing isn't coming back. Brodus Clay's not there anymore, and he kind of didn't work out all that much to begin with or whatever. But like a Baron Corbin, he's big, but he's not as imposing of a threat as I think somebody like a Gallows would be necessarily. And you know what? I didn't plan on adding any more into this, but we have other trios. But I'm curious about this one. Just what the hell? Why not? Retain, repackage, release. The New Day.
Release is Xavier Woods.
Boo.
Repackage. No, retain. I'm gonna go with Big E because I think as a big goofy jacked up guy is his future because I can't take him seriously. His head shape and face is too weird. Repackage would be Kofi Kingston. We haven't really seen him as a full-on cocky douchebag heel. I want to see it. Give him some fucking rap music or some hip-hop, whatever. Fucking, it's all good.
Peyton, who would you go with for the New Day?
See, I would release Kofi Kingston. I think he served his time well, but I think he's peaked as far as he's peaked. They even make many jokes that he's the old man of the crew. So I would let him go. I would retain Xavier Woods. This is him. Like this is as solid of a role for him as he is going to get. Like he's going to come out there, he's going to dance silly, he's going to do unicorn shtick, he's going to play his trombone. That's him. And then I would repackage Big E. I don't care what Wago says. I think you could do something with him and make him look like a totally badass dude. And just go out there and wreck people.
Sure, if they give him a face transplant.
Put a mask on him.
Okay, I'm down with that.
So you got a wide change of opinions there when it comes to that. Kalen, what do you think?
I'm basically agreeing with what Mike said here. Kofi, I would have to pick for my release. Xavier Woods, I'm going to say retain because, as Mike was saying, that is him. Of all the three, the New Day gimmick fits him the best. I think that was his brainchild. He's the one who does it. So, like if you watch Up, Up, Down, Down, that's how he acts.
I think Big E's has that gimmick down better than anybody.
I don't know. Big E, I'd repackage. I wouldn't make him the big, strong, silent, like bodyguard like he was not too long ago. But I'm not sure exactly what I'd do. I'd have to come up with something for Big E.
Well, I'll tell you something else you could do with him, and this just came to me. Follow through with the preacher gimmick. Kind of like how we had
Devon.
Yeah, pair him up with Devon, and then we can get Bubba in his singles role.
Yeah, holy shit.
You can have Batista go out with him too.
But he'd have to be Blue Tista.
Yes.
See, I'd go with a combo. I'm keeping Xavier Woods exactly where he is. That dude, like you guys were saying, that is him. Up, Up, Down, Down is just him doing the same stuff, but he doesn't wear the outfit as much. But I would repackage Kofi, like Wago was saying. I think that if he had a harder edge to him, and we saw a little bit of it with the New Day when they were turning heel and stuff, I liked it. I liked him being kind of a jerk. But Big E is weird, man. I wouldn't want to release the guy, but something is awkward about them.
He's impossible to book as a real strong heel. Like, every time he's been like that monster heel, he still looks goofy as fuck.
Right. Like, if he were a little bit taller, it might make all the difference.
Nah, dude, it's his face.
His face, that would make a difference too. His haircut, like, there's different things that throw me off. And his ring attire too. Like, he's wearing that singlet, and that's just awkward looking. So if you gave him more of like a shirt and pants combo or something, maybe that would help.
I've seen him with different hair though, and I've seen him like just wearing like the lower tights gear, but it's his face. His face is fucked up. I don't know what's wrong with it.
So I would have to unfortunately release Big E, because I can't think of what else to do with the dude. And at least with Kofi, I'm still digging. He can have a damn good match if they just put him out there with somebody. Big E struggles a little bit more with that. So I got to keep Xavier Woods like that. Change up Kofi just a little bit here and there. Get rid of Big E. But we have other editions of this that we could be doing in the future. I mean, we are not going to get into these today because we don't want to go on for fucking ever. But we got Enzo, Cass, and Carmelo we could always do. We've got Blake and Murphy, 3 members of the League of Nations, if we want to go back in time a little bit. Fuck, we could even do the commentary Raw team, or we could do Triple H, Stephanie, and Shane, or whatever like that. So if you guys like this segment, maybe you did, maybe you didn't. I don't know, trying it out. If you didn't like it, let me know about that too. But if you did like it and you want to see future editions of this, then throw in your suggestions of what you'd like to see in the future. We'll try to take that into account. And
The Wyatt family.
This is like short and easy to do, so if you can tell Tony that you like it, I'd be really appreciative.
It is pretty short and easy, isn't it? Which, if you did think that this was too short or whatever, pay attention to what's coming up later on this week, because we have the tournament coming up. So that's why we're doing a little shorter episodes recently, because we got other shit. So, and we got all these Skype issues that I got to fucking edit and all that kind of stuff too. But I also want to know what you guys would do when it comes to retain, repackage, release for these 3 different teams that we did. New Day, the club, and the family. So leave those comments below too. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button and all the other kind of stuff that I mentioned before. And we have one more thing that we need to do for this episode, which is the Fantasy League. So click on part 5, everybody, and find out what trades are happening and anything else that's going down there.